Hi, welcome to the Humerusknits podcast. This is episode 7, I believe. My name is April, and I'm just your average anthropologist slash knitter slash person who does random crafty things, and this is a little show about all those little things that I do. So, this is I believe today is the 5th of February, so it's been a little while since I made a video. The last video I uploaded was actually filmed at the beginning of January, and so it took me a while to upload it because I had to figure out some new editing skills. So this is kind of like my February update for the things that I've been doing. And so, as you can tell back here, I've been doing a little bit of stashing and a little bit of organizing for future projects. So the first thing I want to talk about is some of the finished objects that I have, because when I term things finished, what I really mean is I've finished knitting them. That does not mean that I have finished weaving in the ends, which is something I'm really quite bad at. So the first thing I want to talk about is the January goal, which was finishing my Cladonia shawl. So I had started it in January and I finished it exactly February 1st. So this was done February 1st. The bind off happened then. So I still haven't woven the ends, but I will get to doing that sometime soon. And I think it turned out really awesome. I'm very excited for how pretty it looks. The colors are really cool. I use Knit Picks. The bright pink is called Lotus, and the gray is Dove Heathered, sorry. Knit Picks Swish. So it's really soft and really warm. I think I will probably get a lot of use out of this whenever I finally weave in the ends, which I will hopefully do today. But I'm super happy with it. It looks really good. When I was doing it, I thought I wasn't sure if it would be too thick because it's a DK weight. But once I spread it out and put it on the knitting cables? What are they? Knitting blocking wires, sorry. Once I put them on the blocking wires and laid them out to block, and once it pulled off, it was perfect. It looked really lacy and really nice, not bulky at all, even though it's a DK instead of like a sport weight. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So the next thing on my list, of course, is to do my Iona dress and finish it off, which I have most of it done, and I'll show you that a little bit later. So this is definitely the one of my favorite things that the nicest thing that I finished this whole time in the month of January. The next thing I finished was this nice little cowl that the ends will be woven together to form a cowl, and it'll be basically just like a little cowlet thing, like right here. I'm not sure what I will do with this. I don't know if I'll keep it or not. If I can get this yarn off me, I might put it on my Etsy website, which I do have one. I just don't really have very much on there, and I really need to focus on like putting the things that I have on there. So I will probably be updating that soon. What I have to put on there now is a few knitted things that I hand knit myself, and a few things that I made from jewelry making, because I have a lot of jewelry making stuff for my mom, and I've spent a lot of time making like necklaces and things like that. I just haven't put them on the website. So that'll be something that I work on as well over the next month. This thing was made using my Loops and Threads Knit Quick knitting machine, and this did not take very long at all, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes or so to knit this thing up. So all I have to do really is to finish up the ends, and weave them in, and it should be good to go. And I'm pretty pleased with this. So hopefully that will be woven in soon. And then I finished 2 other things, and they were the pussy hat shawl. The pussy hat shawl. No, they were the 2 pussy hats. One that I made for Francesca in a few different, Blue Skies yarns. One was a thicker cotton and one was a wool. And hers ended up looking more like pig ears, which she told me she wanted me to fix. So I think the best thing to do would be to like sew down the ends. But since I don't have the hat with me right now, I have not done that yet. And then I made one for myself out of some Debbie Stoller Fullo sheep. And I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I wore this. I actually ended up going with her to the Women's March. And I wore this hat to the Women's March. And we went to the Women's March in Washington. There was one here in Athens, and then there was one in Atlanta that a lot of people went to. But her and I drove out to Washington, the whole like 11-hour drive. And it was packed. It was really packed. So I think it was a really good time, and it was really a big event, I have to say. They shut down the trains, so we couldn't actually leave from the train station that we arrived at. And they also wouldn't actually let us march. I don't know if that was actually covered in the news, but the Women's March had too many people for the permit. So the permit was for 200,000 people, and we had at least 500,000, if not more than that. I'm sure there are better estimates than what I can give you right now, but we actually could not march in the designated march route. Instead, they marched on pretty much everything else except for the march route. So there were people packed in like sardines in Pennsylvania Avenue. And I don't even know where we marched. We marched somewhere around near the Smithsonian and the Black History Museum, somewhere around there. But it was an event. It was definitely crowded. So I think it was really good. One of the things we did was we stopped in a yarn shop, nice little yarn shop in Greensboro, in the historic area of Greensboro, North Carolina, yeah, and picked up some yarn, which I will show you. I will look up the name of the yarn shop because I can't remember what it was called, but it was in the downtown area of Greensboro, North Carolina. So, moving on to Sash Editions, because these were the last things that I finished for this month, and it's not really a whole lot to say about them. They're hats. So, moving on to things that I added quite a lot. I got way overboard. And I have bought a lot of things that I found were either on sale or on clearance, or just they happen to be in the path of me getting to Washington. So I bought them. So of the multiple things that I have purchased, I got a whole bunch of these, well, 4 of them. It's not a whole bunch. But I got 4 different colorways of Karen Simply Soft. And I'm going to use these to make, let me see if you can tell, Slytherin scarves. So scarves, another Harry Potter scarf I'm using my Knit Quick machine. And then a Hufflepuff one too. And I'm kind of worried about this yellow. I think it'll probably be okay, but it's called Sunshine, and it's not like a really bright yellow. It's kind of a pastel yellow. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So I got those on sale. They were on sale this week at Michael's for $3 each. So I only had to pay $3 per skein. And then earlier in January, I had gone into Michael's, which was a mistake. I should have known just entering the store would be a bad idea. But I saw that they had these loops and threads facets on clearance. So these were all $2.99 a ball. And they feel really soft. I still have not worked with them, but I'm really excited to work with them. And so I couldn't pass it up. I had to buy like a whole lot of colorways of this loops and threads facets. And so that's what I did. I went and bought like 14 skeins of this stuff. So I got, this is fuchsia, colorway fuchsia. I got 2 balls of this. Here's the other ball. And there's this really pretty purpley, gray, grayish, bluish kind of color combination. Really pretty. And then I got a lot of different blue shades. This one is called Capri Blue. And it's a blue-green, teal sort of colorway. I got 2 of those. And then I got another reddish color called Red Topaz. And I got 2 of those. And it's like purpley, reddy, orangey sort of colorway. And it's really pretty. And I just got one of these because I only had one of them, which was sad. I totally would have bought 2 if they had 2, but they didn't have 2. They just had the 1. And this is called Pacific Opal, and it's really pretty. Pretty colorway with this very light periwinkle kind of blue. And then this one is Blue Zircon, which is a darker shade than the other ones that I've had. Darker blue and green colorway. And then this one is a blue, green, brown colorway, and it's called Emerald. It's really pretty. Really pleased with them. And then I got another one of the one I had bought previously. So I have a total of 2 in my stash, but I only bought one of these. And this is called Tanzanite, and it's a purpley, bluey kind of colorway. And then finally, I got this one, which is super pretty. This is called Light Azure, and I really love these colors, I think. They're really nice. It's kind of like a burnt orange, pinky, lavender sort of colorway. It's just really pretty. And all of them were just really, really pretty colorways, which is why I bought them, because I don't really have in my stash a lot of multicolored yarns. I tend to have a lot of solid colors. For one reason or another, I'm not really sure why. But these, I really like them. So hopefully I will make something really pretty from them soon. And then when I went to the yarn shop in Greensboro, I picked up 2 skeins of Verico Vintage. And I got this really pretty blue colorway. That's 51191. And it's, I don't know if you can really see it, but it has this really pretty, you can't really see this at all, and my camera is not focusing for some reason. It's a pretty true blue, but it also has like little heathered pieces of purple in it, and that's why I was like, I have to get this because it's got the heathered purple. I'm pretty excited to make this, and these will probably be hats, I'm gonna guess. I love making hats, and this is just a regular purple. It does not have a heathered effect at all, and this colorway is 51105, sorry. And it's just a plain like plum purple, but I'm also pretty excited to use these. I don't know what I'm gonna use them for, but probably making some hats. I've been thinking of trying to just make the hats out of this book that I bought a while ago called Weekend Hats. So maybe I'll just do that, have a series of hats that are made from that book. We'll see. I don't know. But I couldn't resist them while we were there. My friend Francesca and I had went in there to buy her some yarn so that I can make her the capuchin hat. That'll be in the show notes for today. And also, it's something that I already cast on since we were driving for forever, and she insisted on driving the entire time. So for the capuchin, she bought also Verico Vintage in 2 different colorways, a bright red and a more cranberry red. And so far I've only really made the brim, but I think it's going to end up really, really nice in the end. So this is one of those things that hopefully I will have done in the next month or so. And then she also bought this really fancy yarn that I don't remember the name of, but the little taggies inside of it. It's this, I'm not entirely sure. It's like an orangey, purpley, black kind of colorway. And this is from, I believe, an independent dyer. It's called, the colorway is called California Quail, and it's from Round Mountain Fibers. And it's 100% superwash merino, 100 grams. And she just wanted me to make a hat out of this. I think I'm going to make a cabled hat out of it, because I've been working on this pattern that I've named after her called Francesca, and I think I'm just going to make another cabled Francesca hat out of this, which is good because I had been working on the Francesca hat and I had it almost done, and then I ripped the whole thing out because I thought the brim just wasn't tight enough and it didn't look enough like a beret. So I had to change up the numbers and everything and start all the way over. And I really actually haven't even started all the way over, just ripped it out, put it back in a skein. And hopefully we'll start over making that before I publish it somewhere. And I'll probably just make it with this and then also make it with the other yarn that I have. Because the other yarn is a Malabrigo in Purpose, and I really love that colorway, and it's a beautiful, beautiful color. And I think that hat will be my hat because I'm very excited for that colorway. I had made a shawl a year or two ago, you know, and 2 years ago at this point. No, a year and some ago. Out of that Purpose color, and it was really, really pretty. It was the monsoon shawl. It's really gorgeous. So that's what I will do with this ball of yarn. In terms of whips, all I have going is this capuchin hat that I already showed you, and then I have the Iona dress that will take me a while, but it's really not taking all that long. So far what I have is the top bodice part, and you can't even see the bottom part that I have, and then just a little bit into the skirt. So I'm almost close to the end of the instructions part. So I have to finish a few more repeats of this where it's opening up really wide, and then after that I believe it's just a longer repeat to make the dress long enough. So it's getting there. It's getting pretty close to being done. It's just I need to dedicate myself to finishing this. I think it's going to look really nice whenever it's finished, and hopefully it fits. I don't know. I don't have dress form, and my needles just aren't big enough for me to really try it on because my chest is 40 inches. So getting my 40-inch needles over that is a problem. So I have not tried it on. I just kind of hold it up to myself and hope for the best. I think it'll probably fit. I think it'll be fine, but we will see. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the next several weeks. And in the first 5 days, I can say I've done pretty well. I started tracking like well, I track every day that I knit. So if I knit anything that day, I will write it down in my bullet journal, which is something new that I've been trying out. It's super fun. And so far I've been pretty good about sitting down and spending at least maybe 10 or 20 minutes just knitting on this thing, and that actually accomplishes quite a lot in just 10 or 20 minutes. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good at keeping up with this, and I'm going to try really hard to make sure I finish this. Next month is going to be the pumpkin pie sweater, which I'm super excited about. I just hope I have enough yarn to finish it. So I already purchased the pattern, and I'm going to make a swatch sometime this month and see how I need to modify it to make it work, because I think I said before, I ended up buying a bulky yarn to make the sweater thinking that it called for a bulky yarn, and it doesn't. It calls for worsted weight yarn. But I think it'll probably be okay. So in terms of other things I've been doing that are related to knitting, I a few weeks ago started to, if you've been following me on Instagram, I started doing some random dyeing with yarn. Dyeing is something I'm kind of getting more interested in, but for now I've just been over dyeing yarn I already own. So this was a yarn in my stash that was a dull green, like a really dull green, and so I just dyed it with some food coloring, and I love how it turned out, like the pretty teal on one end and then like the much brighter green on the other end. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And I dyed it with, the two food colorings I used were, I believe, a blue and what's the other end? Oh, bright green. So this is just a bright blue. I have these Kroger food color dyes that I bought in a little 4-pack of neons. And so this is like a neon blue on one end and a neon green on the other. I think it came out really nice. This is a 50-gram skein, so I may put this on Etsy. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it yet. These, I know, they turned out really nice. It used to be a beige color, and I used the neon pink and the neon purple and dyed them in 2 separate containers, and I just microwaved them, and they turned out amazing. They look really cool. And even though I'm super happy with how they turned out, I'm going to be honest, this yarn has a lot of fraying in it and a whole lot of knots. And so definitely I will not be selling it because I don't want anybody to have to be tortured by this. Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of little ties all through it. You can see here, ties, ties, and more ties, because it's just not a very good yarn. But it was fun to experiment with this. So definitely I'm going to be doing a lot more dyeing in the future. It's just a lot of fun. And then the other thing I've been doing is this past week I decided I wanted to make some stitch markers, because all I have are these little cheap plastic stitch markers. And so I put together these. I made these stitch markers, and they're made out of lobster clasps for the keeping track of the stitches that I've done on my own. And I have one of them on my own right now. And then these are just regular stitch markers. And they're made with little tiny iridescent crystals on the bottom. I'm pretty happy with these, so I'll probably end up making more of these as well and putting them on Etsy. Because I have a lot of jewelry making stuff, and I just usually am not super interested in making necklaces and stuff. I mean, I don't wear them all that often. But I think I'll probably end up making a lot more stitch markers and things for knitting instead. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Time is always very constrained, so we'll see what I invest my time in over the next month. And then there's one other thing that I recently got that I wanted to share with you guys. So my friend Sarah Lynn Cram, she is an artist, and she's worked on like children's books, and she does a whole lot of work. And she designed this this sticker that my husband actually bought for me that says "Protect the Wild Places," or "Protect our wild places." And I just really think her artwork is really cool. This is really neat. how detailed it is and how pretty it ended up being. So I'm going to link, if you're interested in any kind of artwork like this, I'm going to link her page in the description below so you can check her out. She's a local artist. She lives in Athens with where I live, and she's a close friend of mine, so I think her stuff is really cool and you should probably check it out. So that's my plug for the day. And I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about right now. So I want to thank you guys for sitting through this video and listening to me ramble about all my stuff. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day.